Hello everyone, and welcome back to Beneath the Shadows, the show where we dive into the strange, the unbelievable, and the just plain bizarre. Now today, we're going to be stepping out of the shadows and into the spotlight of human absurdity, extreme talent, and the kind of things that make you do a double take. That's right, we're talking about the Guinness World Records book and crazy records from throughout history. The legendary book has been chronicling the wildest achievements on the planet for nearly 70 years, I think it's 70 years this year, from people who have held their breath longer than you can imagine, to dogs that skateboard as fast as I can run. This episode is packed with jaw-dropping, head-scratching, laugh-out-loud records you won't believe are real. So buckle up, because we're about to plunge into the world of superhuman feats, quirky talents, and extreme dedication, where breaking a record sometimes means balancing 85 spoons on your body or smashing toilets with your forehead. Let's get into it. This is one episode you definitely don't want to miss. So to start, just a little bit of background on the Guinness World Records book, originally titled the Guinness Book of Records from 1955 to 1999, and known in U.S. editions as the Guinness Book of World Records, is a British reference book published annually. It documents world records in both human achievements and the extremes of the natural world. The concept was developed by Sir Hugh Beaver, and the book was co-founded by twin brothers Norris and Ross McWhirter in 1955. Norris and Ross McWhirter officially co-founded the Guinness Book of Records in August 1955 at Ludgate House, 107 Fleet Street in London. The origin of the idea dates back to November 10th, 1951, when Sir Hugh Beaver, the managing director of Guinness Breweries, was on a shooting party in County Wexford, Ireland. After failing to shoot a golden plover, a debate broke out about which bird was the fastest bird in Europe, the golden plover or the red grouse. It turns out the plover is faster, though neither is the fastest. That evening, Beaver realized there was no reference book available to settle such debates. Recognizing a gap in the market, he envisioned a book that could answer exactly these kinds of questions. Acting on the suggestion of Guinness employee Christopher Chataway, he approached Norris and Ross McWhirter, who were then running a fact-finding agency in London. In August of 1954, the brothers were commissioned to compile what would become the Guinness Book of World Records. The first 1,000 copies were distributed for free to pubs across Britain and Ireland as a promotional tool for the Guinness brand. The response was overwhelmingly positive. The inaugural 198-page edition was officially bound on August 27, 1955. By Christmas, it had reached the top of the UK bestseller list. A year later, it debuted in the United States, selling 70,000 copies under New York publisher David Boehm. Since then, more than 150 million copies have been sold worldwide. As of the 2025 edition, Guinness World Records marks its 70th year of publication, now released in over 100 countries and translated into 40 languages, with a database holding more than 53,000 verified records. The brand has expanded far beyond its printed origins, now encompassing television shows, live events, and museums. Its global popularity has established Guinness World Records as the leading authority for certifying record-breaking achievements. The organization employs professional adjudicators to verify attempts and ensure accuracy. Since 2008, the franchise has been owned by the Jim Pattison Group. In 2017, its headquarters were relocated to South Quay Plaza in Canary Wharf, London. In recent years, the company has shifted its focus from book sales to orchestrating publicly driven record attempts for individuals and organizations, a pivot that has drawn some criticism. And with that little bit of background on Guinness World Records, the book, and kind of its origins, where it's at, its 70th year now of publication. It started in London, but is now worldwide. We are going to dive into some of these crazy records and look at some of them, talk about some of them. I have a list of about 70 or so. We are going to talk about as many as we can and see what kind of crazy shit people are doing. People, animals, and, other things as well, I guess. So number 1, Milan Roskopf, Roskopf, Roskopf of Slovakia broke his own previous world record in June 2009 by juggling 3 motor saws 62 times in a row. So he's like, yeah, let me juggle some chainsaws. His previous record was 35. He broke his own record by juggling 62 times in a row, 3 chainsaws. Anyone want to juggle chainsaws? You a chainsaw juggler? If you're a chainsaw juggler, let me know, because I'd love to know what the fuck you were thinking when you started doing that. Number 2, a group of thrill seekers still hold the record for the most naked riders on a theme park, with 102 riders in southeast England on August 8th, 2010. Bunch of fucking naked people riding a roller coaster, because why not? I'm also like, you probably had to like rent out the theme park for the day, or do it on a day it was closed or something. I don't think they're just letting a bunch of naked people onto a ride in like the middle of the day, a bunch of kids waiting in line with their parents and shit. And they're like, yeah, don't worry about us. We're just 102 naked people. We're going to ride this roller coaster real quick. But that's the most naked people on a theme park ride, 102. Next, in northern England, Pete Glazebrook looks lovingly at his prize-winning onion, which weighed a stunning 17 pounds. The Guinness World Record holder for heaviest onion, and has held the title since September of 2011. Crazy, 17-pound onion. You think about a little regular fucking onion, it's probably like maybe half a pound, I would say. 34 times bigger than a regular onion. It's just absurd. Here's an even funner one, though. You think giant onions are great? You think juggling chainsaws are cool? How about this one? Ice squirting. Ever do some ice squirting before? Ice squirting is more common than you think. You just have to try it. On September 1st, 2004, Ilker Yilmaz became a champion. At the Armada Hotel in Istanbul, at the Armada Hotel in Istanbul, Turkey, Yilmaz managed to squirt milk from his eye socket at a great distance of 9 feet and 2 inches. Not only am I asking why, but how do you figure it out? How do you figure out that you can squirt milk out of your eye socket at a distance of almost 10 feet? Who the fuck is out there doing that? Who's like, yeah, let me drink a little milk, or like, I don't even know, do you have to snort the milk? Like, it has to do with being in your mucus, like, whatever track, your mucus, membranes and shit. And it's the same thing like how you can, pull a piece of string through your nose, out your mouth or whatever, but like through your eyes? Surfing is regarded as a one-person sport where adrenaline seekers paddle out in the ocean searching for the biggest wave. But on June 20th, 2015 at Huntington, I want to say Huntington without the T, Huntington Beach, California in the United States, 66 people crammed onto one surfboard to break a new record. The previous record was 47 people on one board. They had a custom-made board with a length of 42 feet that was designed for this attempt. The record was awarded to Visit Huntington Beach in the Epic Big Board Ride. Next, on August 15th, 2003, Ron Hunt was awarded a Guinness World Record for surviving a near-fatal fall, or a near-fatal accident. Hunt fell off a ladder while using a drill. He landed on the still-spinning drill that was 18 inches in length. The drill bit was 18 inches in length. Not only did he land on it, but he landed on it with his face. And the drill bit was being forced through his right eye and finally through his skull just above his right ear. After being admitted to Washoe Medical Center in Nevada, surgeons found that the drill bit had just pushed past his brain. If it had penetrated his brain, he would have died. I don't know why he got a Guinness World Record for that, but got a world record for surviving, I think it was like the longest projectile lodged in someone's head. I don't know, something of that nature. But on May 15th, 2014, in Fenjin County, Yushin, I'm going to fucking butcher some of these names today, too. Just to let you all know, I'm going to butcher these names. There's some Japanese and Chinese names that I cannot fucking begin to start to pronounce. On May 15th, 2014, in Fenjin County, Yishun City, Jiangxi Province, China, Ruan Langming broke a world record for enduring the world's largest mantle of bees. There was an estimated total of 637,000 bees, including around 60 queen bees weighing a total of 140 pounds and 7 ounces. So he had 140 pounds of bees coating him all over him. Everywhere you looked, there was bees. Face, bees, arms, bees, neck, chest, head, tits, ass, butt, whatever the fuck you want to say, there were bees there. 637,000 estimated bees total. I am okay. I'll pass on that one. Some of these, sure, I might try it or give it a fucking go over and see how terrible I do, but god damn, no way I'm putting 637,000 bees, 140 pounds of bees on myself. No, not doing it. The previous record was like half that weight too. So he's like, I'm going to fucking shatter this record. I'm not even going to like try to just beat it. I'm going to destroy this record. Next, we have on September 7th, 2009, Paul E. Leday managed to catch a grape in his mouth at a distance of 354 feet, 4 inches, 108 meters. That means that this man, Paul Leday, caught a grape in his mouth that someone, or like, you know, was mechanically thrown or machine thrown, was thrown over a distance of an entire football field. So a football field, you know, 100 yards. If you include the end zones, it's 120 yards. And that's about 360 feet or so, right around there. And just short of that is what he made. 354 feet and 4 inches. How do you even see that coming? Do you like... I have no idea how you see that thing coming, how it doesn't fly. I mean, it has to have some real good momentum behind it. It has to have some real good, you know, physical fucking force going behind it. I don't know how you catch that in your mouth and not have it just lodge immediately down your throat or into your throat. He broke the record for the greatest distance at ground level that a grape has been thrown and caught in the mouth. The record was achieved in Fort Mott, South Carolina. In the world of eating competitions, competitive eating, Joey Chestnut reigns supreme, as most people who know anything about competitive eating or who has watched SportsCenter back in the day or ESPN back in the day, and has seen the national like hot dog champions or whatever. In 2020, he set the world record by eating 76 hot dogs in just 10 minutes. And that's including the bun. That's like, you know, they dip it in the water and fucking chow down on it. 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes, 7.6 per minute. That means you're eating a hot dog less than 10 seconds. Every fucking 8 seconds, pretty much, you're eating a hot dog. And that is absurd. Every 8 seconds, you're eating a hot dog, shoving just under 8 seconds even. It's like 7.9 seconds. It's some fucking crazy shit. Chestnut's feats every year highlight. Chestnut's feat is a highlight every year and continues to baffle anyone who watches. Next up, we have Charles Osborne. Charles Osborne from the United States holds the world's record for prolonged bout of hiccups, which this one in particular, if this ever happens to me, just shoot me, kill me, just throw me in a ditch, do whatever you can to make the hiccups end, because I get, you know, hiccups, if they come, there's a couple of them and they go away, that's one thing. Sometimes you really gotta, hold your breath or drink a bunch of water or have someone scare you, whatever the stupid antidotes are that people have made up over the years to get them to go away. And, I'll hold my breath, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But when I have hiccups that last longer than like a minute or two, when they prolong till, like 5 minutes, I'm like, this is the fucking worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I've had fucking cancer before. I had to get a fucking organ removed because of cancer. And this, having more than 5 minutes of hiccups, is still the worst thing that ever fucking happened to me in my life. It starts hurting your chest. It hurts your fucking throat. It hurts your stomach. Hiccups suck. Having 68 years, Charles Osborne had 68 years of prolonged hiccups. Continuous prolonged hiccups. Starting in 1922, he couldn't stop hiccuping until 1990, making his condition one of the strangest records in history. He endured an estimated 60 million hiccups over those decades. Fuck that shit. Next up, we have Donald Gorsk. Donald Gorsk is a disgusting, terrible person who decides to kill himself every single day by eating Big Macs. An American man, he holds the unusual record for eating the most number of Big Macs in his lifetime. As of 2019, I know it's way over this by now, but he has devoured 32,000 McDonald's iconic Big Mac burgers as of 2019. And I'm going to say that is pretty awful, pretty terrible. We're going to talk about him just a little bit more in a second here. But for now, we're going to move on to a different diet, a strange diet we also talked about in the Insatiable Appetites episode. Michel Lolito out of France, known as Monsieur Mange Tout, which is Mr. Eat It All or something like that. He was known to eat metal and glass throughout his lifetime, beginning in 1959. Gastroenterologist x-rayed his stomach and described his ability to consume 900 grams or 2 pounds of metal per day as unique, and that's definitely one way to describe it. It's unique, it's odd, it's crazy. He suffered from pica, and his diet since 1966 included 18 bicycles, 15 supermarket trolleys, 7 TV sets, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds, a pair of skis, and a fucking airplane. A low-calorie Cessna light aircraft. It took him like 2 years to eat this whole fucking plane, ate every last bit of it. He is said to have provided the only example in history of a coffin. He ate an entire coffin. He's the only example in history of a coffin ending up inside of a man, not a man inside of a coffin. Mr. Lolito died of natural causes on June 25th of 2007. And natural causes, they probably were natural, but I'm sure that his health was not helped by these crazy fucking bullshit that he ate throughout his life, because he ate a lot of nonsense. He ate a lot of shit, but he has the world record for the strangest diet ever. How about this one? This is one that we could all attempt, and no one's really gonna get hurt out of it. Fastest time to drink 2 liters of soda. Go to your local store, buy a fucking bottle of, Coca-Cola or a store brand Big K or fucking Meijer or fucking Walmart, get some great value soda, whatever it is. Go and get you some soda, buy a 2 liter and see how fast you can drink that shit. Just one sitting, see how fast you can do it. Because in 2021, Eric Booker of the United States drank 2 liters of soda in 18.45 seconds. Less than 20 seconds. Less than 20 seconds to drink a whole 2-liter bottle of fucking soda. I can't even imagine the burp that this man had afterwards. Just the most guttural, deep, intense sounding belch of his entire life. Absurd amount of soda. That's just so much liquid too to drink in such a short amount of time. I feel like my body would reject it just the pure volume. Not even just because it's carbonated and it would be hard to drink in that sense, but due to the fact that it's just so much liquid. It's so much. You couldn't have shit in your stomach, have to chug that down, and then sit there as you just have bubbles going in your stomach. That would probably fucking hurt, honestly. Not just the sugar, not just the bullshit, but like just the bubbles. So much gas building up in your stomach at that point. Eric is a competitive eater who decided to attempt this record title because it was always his dream to be a Guinness World Record holder. How about this one, though? This one's pretty impressive, and this dude has so many fucking world records. This guy, I think that's all he does with himself is try to break world records. He has like, at one point at least, I think he had like 80-ish world records, or like 50 or 80. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up again. But he's had so many throughout his lifetime. He has broken numerous in one day before. In 2007, the United States Ashrita, A-S-H-R-I-T-A, Ashrita Furman, managed to balance 81 pint glasses, beer glasses, on his chin for 12.1 seconds. And they're all stacked on top of each other. He's in this crazy room on stage, balancing 81 fucking glasses on his chin. Just head tilted back, just put them on the base of your chin. See how long you can keep them there. I didn't see the end of it. I don't know if they all just came crashing down or if he actually just took them off his chin when he felt them kind of tipping and falling and not able to hold it anymore. Here's one I wouldn't recommend trying for anyone ever, no matter how strong you are or how much training you have or how hard your head is. I would not do this. In 2019, Saidlavi KV of India nailed 20 nails using only his head in 1 minute. He is a professional martial artist and decided to attempt this record because it was different, pretty much. But brain damage is a real thing, and I would say that a good way to do it is by smashing your head into nails over a minute and repetitively doing that, trying to nail actual nails into wood, because you're something is going on in your head if you come up with that as the thing to do. You're like, yeah, if out of all the shit that I could do in my life, out of all the world records I could attempt to break, I'm going to nail nails with my fucking skull. Ridiculous. I can't even imagine how crazy people have to be to even try that kind of shit. So yeah, we're just to give you kind of like where I'm at with this. We are going through, I have 3 categories here. One is human, one is animals, and the other is other. And we are going through right now the human section. We're going to go to animals after that. And then we'll talk about the other, which, a lot of those involve humans also, fastest cars, largest this, largest that, but they are about particular items or about particular vehicles or things of that nature. They are not a person doing something. They are not an animal doing something. They are kind of, a combination of both or of multiple things. So I put them in the other category. But for now, we're going to continue with the human category, and we are on most lightning strikes survived. A lot of people have heard of this guy. He's been, talked about so many times because what happened to him happened into like the 70s, I think, was the last time he actually got struck by lightning, but he managed to get struck numerous times, which is crazy. And we'll also talk about his wife for a second here. The only man in the world to be struck by lightning. A single lightning strike is made up of several million volts, several 100 million volts. He was struck 7 times, and this is Roy C. Sullivan, an ex-park ranger, the human lightning conductor of Virginia. His attraction for lightning began in 1942, where he lost a big toenail after being struck, and was resumed 27 years later when he was struck again in 1969, where he lost his eyebrows, and then it was almost a yearly occurrence in the 70s. 1970 in July, his left shoulder was seared after being struck. April 16th of 1972, his hair was set on fire after being struck. On August 7th of 1973, just a year later, new hair gone and his legs were seared after being struck. Then on June 5th, 1976. Can you imagine what happened? Man was struck by lightning. What the fuck are you doing? How do you get struck so many times? Well, get out of the storm. Don't go outside during a storm, dude. You are lightning fucking bait. You are like fucking the thing that conducts lightning the most. He injured his ankle this time in 1976, and on June 25th, 1977, he received chest and stomach burns after he was struck for the last time. In September of 1983, he died by his own hand, reportedly rejected in love. So he actually ended up taking his own life less than 6 years after, or just over 6 years after his last time he was struck by lightning. He took his own life, and that's very sad, very unfortunate. But I mean, if you're struck so many times, I mean, I feel like even though you are the only one being struck in these situations and nothing else happens to other people, I'm sure he has read or heard about numerous other people that have been struck by lightning and killed. I feel like after being struck 7 times, you have to have some sort of either one or two things. Either you have survivor's guilt for actually surviving through all of these different lightning strikes and knowing that there are tons of other people who haven't, or at least the majority of other people who get hit by lightning probably don't survive. You probably have some survivor's guilt, and you also probably have like a complex going where it's like a survivor's complex almost, where you're like, I can fucking do whatever. Storms aren't gonna fucking scare me, because if I go out and I get hit by lightning, guess what? I've got hit by lightning 7 fucking times and I haven't died, so I'm probably not gonna die. But as you get older too, it might change a little bit. You go from the first time in 1942 to the last time in 1977, probably a big difference in how you felt afterward. You might have been able to recover a little bit easier after the 1942 one, and the 1977 one might have been like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. What I was going to say, though, is I want to talk about his wife. I'm almost certain what I had read was that he married a woman who was also struck by lightning at some point. So he was struck one day, she had been struck at some point, and they ended up getting married at some point throughout their lives. And I don't know if this is the woman that he was reportedly rejected in love by, or if it was someone else altogether. But 7 times. Go get struck by lightning 7 times. Tell me how you feel. So next we have the most people crammed into a smart car, which happened twice, actually. It was the same thing twice. In 2011, the Glendale cheerleading team in the United States, that's Arizona, managed to squeeze 20 people into a smart car. The next year, not the next year, a couple years later, in 2014, the record was later equaled by the Comets cheerleaders in the United States as well. 20 people into a smart car. Imagine putting 7 people into a smart car. Hard to imagine. Going to be crammed already. Double that, almost triple that amount. And see how you fucking feel. I mean, I would have to imagine it was a bunch of like, it's not like you're having the guys that are on the bottom of the pyramid or holding the cheerleaders up or any of that shit in that car. You're having all the tiny little women and the real small dudes and anyone who is, both flexible and tiny in that car. You're not having anyone with any sort of mass to them. All right, so we've talked about people being crammed into a smart car. It's a couple different cheerleader teams that cram 20 people into a smart car, and that's absolutely absurd to me. So let's move on, though. Most piercings in a lifetime. Since first receiving a skin piercing in January of 1997, Elaine Davidson of Brazil in the United Kingdom has been pierced a total of 4,225 times as of June 8th, 2006. And so I would have to imagine that this bitch is fucking so many more piercings already. I don't even know how you get more than that, though. 4,225 piercings. Absurd. I don't even, I had my ears pierced once, and that was plenty enough for me. I mean, some people go a little overboard, but that is overwhelmingly overboard. It's just crazy. Next, we have the largest hands ever, and that was going to be the same as the tallest man ever. USA's Robert Wadlow, the tallest man ever at 8 foot 11 inches, had hands that measured 12.75 inches from the wrist to the tip of the middle finger. He wore a size 25 ring, and that's fucking wild. Fucking almost 9 feet tall is fucking wild, though. Holy bullshits. I can't even imagine seeing someone that is actually that height. You see someone who's like 7 foot tall, and you're like, wow, you're fucking, do you play basketball or something? Because you're gigantic. And seeing someone that's almost 2 feet taller than that, that's just crazy. It's crazy to think about. Having almost 13 inches from your wrist to the tip of your middle finger is even crazier to think about, because, I mean, I look at my own hand, and I'm saying it's probably like 7 inches maybe 7 inches, and his was almost double that, just a little under double that amount. That's, blows my mind. It's very funny to like think of him next to just a regular sized person being, 3 feet taller than the average fucking person at the time, even over 3 feet taller than the average person. And it's wild. The heaviest vehicle pulled over 100 feet. In 2017, Canadian Kevin Fast pulled 3 fire trucks weighing 218,389 pounds for a total of 30.5 meters, 30 and a half meters, about 100 feet total. This man pulled 218,389 pounds. Pulling 1,000 pounds sounds terrible for 100 feet. That sounds like it'd be pretty fucking hard as it is. I can't even imagine the strength of this dude's legs. And I mean, like, overall strength total too, but like the strength of his legs has to be fucking absurd, fucking crazy. Absolutely monstrous in so many ways. Most apples held in the mouth and cut in half by chainsaw in 1 minute. Anyone doing this one? You and your friends just hanging out and holding apples in your mouth while someone else cuts them in half? In 2020, Wang Lai from China chainsawed 25 apples in half from the mouth of Wang Zili in 1 minute. 25 apples in 1 minute, sawed in half with a chainsaw. These apples being held in someone else's mouth. What kind of crazy shit is that? Why would you do that? Who influenced you to fucking do that? Next one. This is actually, there's a newer guy that I found that has the ability to do even further than this, but Kim Goodman of the United States can pop her eyes to a protrusion of 12 millimeters or 0.47 inches beyond her eye sockets. If you've ever seen someone actually pop their eyes out of their head like this, it's just absurd. But there is another gentleman, I just saw a video of him that was more recent, this past year or so, that he can do, it's like a half an inch, so just a little bit more, 0.5 or 0.55 inches. And I mean, it looks like his eyes are about to come out of his head, but he's really good at it. And like he'll walk up to people and start talking to them, and they'll look away for a second, so he'll pop his eyes out, and when they look back, they're like, fuck, shit, holy hell, like freak out type of thing, because this dude looks like he's a psychopath trying to murder you. She did that in 2007. Measuring the pop is an exact science that has to be done by an optometrist using a device known as a proptometer. An average of 3 measurements gives the final eye-watering result. Proptosis is the term for eyeball displacement or bulging of the eyes. She discovered her talent when she was hit on the head by a hockey mask, but can now pop her eyes out on cue. So for some reason, she got hit in the head at some point, and it caused her eyes to pop out, or she popped her eyes because of it. She like tensed up and it popped her eyes or some shit, and she's like, oh, I know exactly how to do that now. Next, Gary Turner. This is, it's 67 on here, but it's really, like fucking 23 or some shit. Gary Turner is able to stretch the skin of his stomach to a distended length of 15.8 centimeters or 6.25 inches. So he's able to grab the skin on his stomach, say if you were to grab your tummy skin and pull it away from his stomach to 6.25 inches away. And this is due to a rare medical condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a disorder of the connective tissue affecting the skin, ligaments, and internal organs. So he's able to do this. He's able to stretch his skin due to a rare medical condition. And without that, I don't believe you'd actually be able to perform this feat unless you had something really fucked up with you. With this condition, the collagen that strengthens the skin and determines its elasticity becomes defective, resulting in, among other things, a loosening of the skin and hypermobility of the joints. In more serious cases, it can cause the fatal collapse or rupturing of blood vessels. Oh my god, imagine you're just like fucking hanging out and your blood vessels fucking collapse. And your blood can't be circulated and your fucking organs just fail on you. Whew. We already talked about this one a little bit. The tallest man in medical history for whom there is irrefutable evidence is Robert Pershing Wadlow, born at 6:30 a.m. in Alton, Illinois on February 22nd of 1918, who was last measured on June 27th of 1940, was found to be 8 feet 11 inches tall. The greatest distance traveled... just go from that to this. The greatest distance traveled with a... The greatest distance traveled with a pool cue balanced on the chin is 3,300 meters, 10,826 feet total, and was achieved by David Rush at the Boise High School track in Boise, Idaho on August 15th of 2017. David made his attempt to promote the importance of STEM education, and STEM is definitely very important. It's a big thing in this world, and, they're irrefutable skills that you can use in numerous occasions and placements throughout life. So STEM skills are definitely important: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And, take a look at them. Invest yourself a little bit in some STEM education, and maybe you'll be the next person to walk a distance of 3,300 plus meters with a pool cue on your chin, just to promote it. The lowest limbo skating. This one, it bothers me that this dude's ankles aren't broken, or this person's ankles aren't broken, because it looks like they fucking snapped their ankles to do this. If you watch a video of someone doing this, the lowest limbo skating over 25 meters is 16 centimeters, 6.29 inches. The gap between the ground and the bar was 6.29 inches, and this person was able to squeeze themselves underneath while skating. They snap their fucking ankles, they bend down, and they somehow are able to squeeze themselves underneath of this. This was achieved by Takshvi, Takhshvi Vaghani from India, in India on March 10th, 2024. Takshvi decided to attempt for personal achievement. This one also makes me feel... not great about the things that I do with my lungs. I, enjoy smoking weed occasionally. I don't probably run or get enough cardio exercise as I should. The longest time breath held voluntarily underwater is 24 minutes, 37.36 seconds. 24 and a half minutes, this dude held his fucking breath underwater and didn't breathe any oxygen, any air during that time. I know that they do this oversaturation of oxygen to prep for this this record attempt. I know that they, do this oxygen oversaturation of their vessels, so you have more in your bloodstream and you don't need as much, and it's not going to run as big of a risk of causing brain damage or causing some sort of issue where your body shuts down or blacks out because of the lack of oxygen over such a prolonged period of time. But 24 and a half fucking minutes, that's over an episode of Family Guy or South Park or, your favorite fucking kids show, SpongeBob or some shit. It's over a full fucking TV episode of it. I mean, without commercials. You got 22 minutes or something is what they average on runtime. And this dude, 24 24 minutes, 37.36 seconds of holding his breath underwater. I can't even begin to fathom that. It's hard enough to hold your breath underwater for a singular minute, not fucking 24 and a half of them. The 56-year-old, he's 56, surpassed the previous record by 34 seconds. This was Budimir Sobat from Croatia. This was completed in Croatia on March 27th of 2021. Budimir, who only started freediving when he was 48, so less than 10 years before this, trained 6 days per week for 3 years in order to prepare himself for this record attempt. How about this one? The fastest side wheelie lap of the Nürburgring Nordschleife, I'm probably butchering that, in a car is 45 minutes and 59 seconds and was achieved by Han Yu in Nürburg, Rhineland-Palatinate, Germany on November 3rd, 2016. And let me tell you what, if you're going to look up any of these, this might be the one to look up the video of, because there's a lot of these have videos, or at least a good amount of them have videos of some sort. Look up this fucking side wheelie lap of the Nürburgring Nordschleife in a car. This motherfucker takes a goddamn Mini Cooper on 2 wheels, angled sideways on 2 wheels, and drives it around an entire racetrack for 45 minutes and 59 seconds. And, I mean, he's just it's so smooth the way that this motherfucker does it. And then when he comes to the end and sets it down, just the smoothest, slowest, easiest letdown in the world. Doesn't fucking slam it down, doesn't, flip the car at all. I can't even imagine how many times this dude had to have flipped a car trying to, practice and prepare and learn how to do this. At the time of achieving this record, Han Yu was also the record holder for tightest gap driven through by 2 cars on 2 wheels and most donuts spins around a car on 2 wheels in 1 minute. I'd love to see that one too. Most donuts around a car driving on 2 wheels. So he's on 2 wheels in his fucking car doing donuts around another car. How? How do you do that? How do you fucking do that? The physics, the angles, the speed, the momentum, just everything that is involved in trying to accomplish that is so beyond absurd to me that it's hard for me to fathom and to picture that. All right, and so let's get away from the car for a minute. Let's take a break from that. We have just a couple more of the human feats before we move on to animals and the others section. So we have David R. Adamovich, Adamovich, Adamovich. The Great Throwdini is what he's known as, threw 102 14-inch throwing knives around his throwing partner, target girl Tina Nagy, in 1 minute. 102 knives being hucked at you. If you are Tina, you're just fucking sitting there having knives thrown at you repetitively, more than 1 per second for a minute. At least a minute, just over a minute. In 1 minute, he threw 102 14-inch throwing knives around his partner, target girl Tina, in Freeport, New York, on December 26, 2007. I can't even start to... the accuracy that you have, the belief in your accuracy even. Not just the accuracy you have to have, the belief that you're going to make those throws so perfectly to be able to stick around this person 102 times in a row in 60 seconds. That's almost 2 per second. That's like 1.6 per second or some shit like that. Over 1.5 per second you're throwing these bitches. I wouldn't want to be Tina. Let me tell you that one. I just wouldn't want to be Tina getting knives hucked at me. If you're the Great Throwdini, obviously you have a lot of responsibility on you too to not hit this person with knives. And I'm guessing they're dull knives and they're going into a board that's a little bit softer so you can penetrate it still without having to throw it at like 60 miles an hour. But god damn, I can't even start to think about that one either. Like throwing just knives, just hucking knives at someone, getting knives hucked at you. Why? Why would you do that? All right, so the most consecutive stairs climbed while balancing a person on the head is 100 and was achieved by Jean Quoc Negip and Jean Quoc Co, both from Vietnam, in Girona, Catalonia, Spain on December 23rd, 2021. Head-to-head was already a trick of the Jiang Brothers circus show. However, they wanted to challenge their ability doing something even harder. The brothers broke this record in 2016, climbing 90 stairs, but were beaten with 97 stairs by Pablo Nanato and Joel Yicate 2 years later in 2018, so they wanted to regain their title. This time they had returned to the same venue, the Cathedral of Girona in Spain, to recover their title, rising 100 stairs in 53.6 seconds. So dude is walking up the stairs with another dude balanced on his head. It's headstand to headstand is how they're doing this, head to head. And he walks upstairs while he has him on his head. They're not allowed to hold each other. They're not allowed to touch each other. You have to balance that motherfucker on your head while you're climbing these stairs. And he's able to climb 100 stairs in 53.6 seconds. Miraculous focus, miraculous balance, miraculous feat of strength to just have a person on your head carrying them. Your neck strength has to be great. And then your balance is off the charts. Amazing balance right there. The largest wave ever surfed was an estimated 93.73 feet, ridden by Sebastian Stutner at Praia do Norte in Nazaré, Portugal in February of 2024. This ride, measured with drone technology, potentially breaks Stutner's, I hate this fucking last name, Steudtner, Stutner's previous world record of 86 feet. And if you ever watch, I believe there is a video of this exact wave that he rode, the 93.73 feet one, and he looks like a little fucking ant, a little tiny dot on this wave. This wave is massive, absolutely massive. It's something you'd picture coming from like a tsunami or some shit like that. It's absolutely huge, absolutely the biggest shit you may have ever seen in your fucking life. It's crazy big. So check that out. You should check out, if you're interested in any of these, you should go and type on YouTube or type on Google or something. Check out, see if there's a video for them, because a lot of these do have videos from the past at least like 15 years or so. Lots of them with videos. So 94, this one's a lot of fun, and don't try this one. Would not recommend trying this or trying to break this record, because you'll probably die. You will likely die, honestly. Within 60 minutes, 23-year-old Jack Keyes drank 36 pints of beer. More than one every 2 minutes. 36 pints of beer in an hour. The feat occurred in 1969 in Northern Ireland. The record was discontinued in 1989 due to health concerns, which I understand entirely. Because that's just absurd. That's the craziest shit. Crazy. A lot of these, I don't know what other to say than they're crazy. People are crazy. The things that they try to do are crazy. And that's why I named it Crazy World Records, because world records are great. People do amazing things. They're crazy. Just people have to be crazy to even try or start to think about trying some of these things. Touching back to when I was talking about Kim Goodman, who popped her eyes out 0.47 inches. This man, the other man, his name is Williams Martin Sanchez Lopez, and he's able to pop his eyes 0.74 inches, almost 3/4 of an inch out of his fucking head. That's over 1.5 times as much as Kim Goodman could do. And go check out the video of this guy, because he's creepy as shit when he does it. And he just, like I said, he just walks up to people, he'll be talking to them and just pop his eyes out at them and shit, and they have no idea what to do. Keeping with the eye sockets and eyeballs, the heaviest weight pulled with the eye sockets is 5,319 pounds. Why? Why would you do what in any hell would make you want to pull any sort of weight. I don't care if it's 10 pounds, 20 pounds, or 5,319 pounds. What makes you want to pull shit with your eye sockets? Like, yeah, I'm just going to fucking hook, like, literally put a soft hook onto my eye socket and see if I can pull shit around with my eyeballs. Why? Why would you do that? You have arms, you have feet, you have legs, you have your waist, you have fucking ears, fucking your mouth, you have your nose, you have so many appendages that, like, you could easily hook shit to, you could easily put a hook into. Your eyeballs are not one of them. Your eye sockets are not one of them. And the fact that you're like, yeah, let's pull 5,000 fucking pounds with my eye sockets. Man, oh man, I can't, wow. So just a couple more here, just a few, wow, I don't know, there's like 5 more, and I don't know if I want to touch on all of them, but most slices of pizza eaten in 10 minutes. Jeff Esper ate 83 slices, which is equaling 10.5 total pizzas in 10 minutes. Over a pizza per minute. A whole pizza per minute. Why? I feel like you'd throw up so many times after that, or you just have the worst stomach cramps or stomach issues after that. Just so much cheese, so much sauce, so much grease. The most push-ups in 1 hour is 3,378 and was achieved by Pop Laurentu in London, United Kingdom on June 30th of 2023. Following 6 unsuccessful attempts at this record, Pop chose not to give up and pushed towards his long-standing goal of achieving this record. He had trained 5 days a week over a 7-year span to eventually complete the successful attempt. Eventually, he broke the record by over 100 push-ups. And just to stay on that, the most push-ups completed in 24 hours was 46,001 by Charles Cervizio in Fontana, California on April 24th and 25th of 1993. Why would you want to continuously do push-ups for 24 hours straight or even an hour straight? I get it. It's like a feat of strength. It shows how strong you are. It shows your endurance. It shows that you can last in doing these things. It shows your persistence as well. But 3,378 push-ups sounds like an awful day already, and that's 24 hours, not just a singular hour. 46,001 push-ups sounds like a fucking nightmare. Sounds like something I would, I'd wake up middle of the night, hot sweats, blinking, looking around, trying to figure out where I'm at, because I just had a nightmare of doing 46,000 fucking push-ups in 24 hours. I'd be dying. I'd be so dead. After 1,000 push-ups, I'd be fucking dead. 46,000? What? Why? I mean, don't get me wrong. You look at pictures of these guys, and you're like, yeah, you're in pretty solid shape. You're doing pretty good for yourself. You got some upper body strength and shit to be able to hold yourself up for 24 hours straight just as is, and then continuously go down and come back up and go down and come back up and blah, 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 blah. 46,000 goddamn times. So many of these records, I'm like, why? Who? What? When? What made you fucking do this? Like, why would you want to do it? Why? So just 2 more. Highest intentional free fall without a parachute. Luke Aikens jumped from 25,000 feet and survived. He fell into this huge netting that he had that was suspended like 200 feet above the ground, so it cushioned his impact, and instead of hitting the ground with fucking like 200 miles an hour with like 80 G-forces or whatever, he hits this net and it actually gradually lowers him down pretty much all the way to the ground, or with takes his impact and spreads that force along this entire net and reduces his G-force impact by a substantial amount, enough where he's able to survive. Luke also was a military parachutist or something. He had done hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of parachute jumps before this, and he's like, I trust myself enough where I can free fall without a parachute. I can, fall all the way down to this net. And at the very end, he flips onto his back and lands, like spread out into this netting so it can gradually, capture him and reduce his impact to, to stop injury from occurring when he did this free fall. There are other unintentional free falls that were actually higher than this that people have survived. If you look up the highest free fall of all time, there was a lady that was a flight attendant that her plane pretty much blew apart in midair at 33,000 feet, and she fell buckled into her seat in the back part, the hull of this fucking airplane. The airplane fell out of the sky 33,000 feet into a forest in somewhere in South America. I believe it was Venezuela, Brazil, or something like that, and fell through into this forest. And she ended up pretty fucking injured, but like she ended up surviving. She fell in her seat in this airplane hull into the forest and was eventually found by a tribe or something like that, and was rescued and recovered. And she's noted for having the highest free fall survived of all time, and it's 33,000 feet. I don't have her name off the top of my head, but if you look it up, it'll be the first thing that comes up. So, and last but not least, the record for most ghost peppers eaten in 2 minutes. Ghost peppers are the Butte Jolokia, Boot or Butt, BHUT, Jolokia, JOLOKIA. Eaten in 2 minutes is 246 grams or 8.67 ounces, set by Mike Jack from Canada, according to Guinness World Records. There is a video on YouTube of this one as well if you want to see this dude die a little bit when he eats fucking handfuls of ghost peppers. He eats something like 15 or 20 of them or some shit like that. He eats a lot of ghost peppers. I can't even imagine eating 2 ghost peppers. I would be struggling to breathe, I'd be struggling to breathe, struggling to not have my mouth and my eyes feel like they're about to die and fucking melt out of my head. I'd probably be drinking handfuls of milk, jugs. I'd probably have a whole gallon of milk by me just for a couple of them. For 246 grams, I think it was like 15 or 20 of these bitches. And gosh, man, some things are spicy. I like spicy to an extent, but fucking Jesus Christ, the ghost peppers are maybe a little too hefty on the spice. So, and that will round out our human feats here. We are going to now touch on animal feats, a couple of other feats, and then we'll go to our main marks and final takeaways and get out of here in maybe like half an hour. So we'll see how long it takes. So, all right, starting off the animals, we have Bibby. Bibby is a domestic short-haired cat with many talents. One is balancing dice on his paw. On June 18th, 2017, Bibby managed to have 10 dice stacked on his paw without moving. So imagine a cat sitting there with their paw out, just, stretched out, their little arm, leg stretched out, and someone stacking 10 die onto their paw. Just stacked up on top of each other without the cat knocking it over or moving their paw or doing anything of that. And this little cat was able to do that, able to have 10 dice stacked on his paw without moving, which is crazy to think about. Crazy to think of a cat doing much of anything like that. And, some cats are really fucking smart, and if you really train them and teach them, you can do a lot of shit. There's some guy who is even able to train his cat to skateboard and do some other shit. He does a lot of talents, rollover and stuff, but stacking dice on their paw is pretty crazy. The animal world has some incredibly talented creatures and some that we can even train. One of these celebrity animals is Zach the macaw. Zach managed to break a Guinness World Record of opening 35 canned drinks in 1 minute. So he had, 35 sodas lined up, and he was able to, or probably more than that lined up, but he was able to open 35 fucking sodas in 1 minute. And that's incredible by itself. If you take some less than 2 seconds to open each can, and honestly, I feel like a person doing that wouldn't do much better than Zach the Macaw. 35 cans in 1 minute is pretty impressive to open. So the record was broken in San Jose, California on January 12th, 2012. And next we have Bao Zi, an American short-haired cat belonging to Chinese man Li Zhongtao, Zhongtao, Jiangtao, showed off his shredding skills by skateboarding 10 meters, 32.8 feet in 12.85 seconds. Lee, a professional dog trainer, said he originally brought Bao Zi home to deal with a rodent problem. This cat, like I was saying, this cat can skateboard, helped deal with a rodent problem, but he noticed the feline would watch intently when he was teaching dogs how to skateboard, so he started teaching Bao Zi to do his own tricks. Next, we have Apollo. Apollo, a 4-year-old African gray parrot belonging to Florida residents Dalton and Victoria Torrey Mason, was able to identify 12 objects presented to him by name in 3 minutes. So they would hold things up in front of him, and he'd be like, Wario, a book, a sock, whatever it is. The social media famous parrot, who has 2.8 million followers on TikTok, so you may have seen this parrot before, can identify objects including books, socks, and a figure of Super Mario's nemesis, Wario. We have the world's tallest cow ever coming up. The Taoist call. Wow. Kind of shitting on fucking how blown out is my mind today. I haven't even smoked any weed today, and my mind is like, what the fuck was that? Taoist call. Ah, wow. The tallest cow, how about that, ever was named Blossom, who was owned by Patricia Meads Hansen and measured 190 centimeters, 74.8 inches from the hoof to the withers. And the withers are like the top of the shoulder blades, or where you'd see like their shoulders come up on the top of their back. You can see the bone kind of stick out. That would be the withers. So from the hoof to the withers is 190 centimeters, 74.8 inches, which is over 6 feet tall, just over 6 foot 2 inches. Taller than me. That motherfucker stands. This record was verified in 2014. As far as I know, this cow has passed away since then, but maybe not. They can live to 25, 30 years old, so there is a possibility he's still alive. The most knots most knots undone by a dog in 3 minutes. In 2010, a good boy. Oh, good boy. Who's a good boy? Where's my puppy at? I don't know where Zeus is. Zeus is around here somewhere. He's a good boy. Maybe, kind of. He's kind of an asshole, too. He's still a puppy. He's not even 1 yet. He turns 1 in 2 days, so wish him happy birthday. The 31st of May, he turns 1. Finally, a good 1-year-old growing up pup. Anyway, a good boy named Ben, who is owned by Claudia Newman in Germany, at the Vienna Recordia event had undone 14 knots in 3 minutes. Ben is a cross between a Shih Tzu and a Japanese Chin, aka a Japanese Spaniel, and he was able to undo 14 knots in 3 minutes for over 4 knots per minute. And that's impressive. I mean, you think about, I don't know exactly what kind of knots they were, if they were just simple one done knots, probably I'd have to guess, but still being able to teach a dog to undo these knots, because I'm sure that they weren't just like loose fucking knots. They barely pull on them, they come undone. Maybe they were, but I'm guessing they had to put a little bit of effort into actually undoing these knots. And I guess a small dog would be a good way to go about it, be able to really get their teeth on this fucking rope and rip that shit out. So, but 14 knots in 3 minutes is pretty impressive. The most balls caught by a dog with its paws in 1 minute. In 2014, a cute little fella named Purin, Purin, with her owner Makoto Kumajai, both from Japan, managed to catch 14 balls in 1 minute. And it's really fucking cute. They're like mini soccer balls, and he tosses them to him, and he actually catches them like a person would almost, between its paws, between its hands, between its paws, catches them, puts them down on the ground. Catches them, puts them down on the ground. And it's not even just like I don't know. I'm trying to go. It's not like he's bouncing him to him. It's not like he's like really lightly tossing him. Like it's a decent little throw, and this dog fucking catches these balls. 14 balls in 1 minute. Catches one almost every 4 seconds. Catches it, sets it down. He's the cutest shit in the world. And this dog is actually pretty impressive. The owner and this dog have set numerous world records for animal feats. This little dog that Makoto Kumagai owns. And that I know there's a video of that one too, so go check that out on YouTube as well, as there's a video of this dog catching the balls in its paws, and I think another one of its other world records that it completes as well. This one is for the people who love arachnids so much. The world's largest known spider is a male Goliath bird-eating spider, collected by members of the Pablo San Martin expedition at Rio Cavro in Venezuela in April of 1965. It had a record leg span of 28 centimeters or 11 inches, almost a foot, spanning for its legs. Its legs spanned an entire almost foot from one side to the other. Just try, it's like a dinner plate. Imagine having a spider that covers an entire dinner plate. This species is found in coastal rainforests of Suriname, Guyana, and French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, and French Guyana, but isolated specimens have been reported also from Venezuela and Brazil. A 2-year-old spider of the same species, bred by Robert Bustard and reared by Brian Burnett of Alyth, Perthshire. Alyth, Perthshire, also had a leg span of 28 centimeters, 11 inches, and weighed 6 ounces in February of 1998. So it has happened more than one time with this exact species of spider with a leg span of 11 inches. Its body length is 280 millimeters or 28 centimeters. Its weight was 50 grams, or this was the original one. 50 grams, which is very small compared to the other one. Only like 2 ounces? Yeah, like 2 ounces. And its lifespan can be almost 10 years. It was discovered in 1804 and is fucking gigantic. I'd never want to see one in the wild. If I ever saw one, might burn my whole house down. Might burn whatever building this animal is in. Wherever I found it, might just burn it. It's in a field of like, some crops or whatever. It's in a barn. It's on a farm. It's in my house. Everything's getting burned. I'm not dealing with a spider that has an 11-inch leg span. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. And now I have a couple more animal ones. Kind of feel bad for this next one, honestly. Like, I feel bad, but it's also like kind of funny in a way, but like I'd never want to actually have an animal that looked like this. But the winner for heaviest cat was Himmy. Had to be transported in a wheelbarrow and weighed 21.3 kilograms, and 46 pounds and 15 ounces, almost 47 pounds upon his death from respiratory failure in 1986. I'm not shocked that this 47-pound fucking cat died from respiratory failure. I am shocked that he made it to 47 fucking pounds before he died, though, because that's a fucking ball. That's a circle. It's just the biggest fucking animal. I can't even imagine this cat doing anything with its life. It's not going to be able to move around. It's not going to be able to run around and play and have fun or do anything. It's just fucking fat. And I don't know how, unless he had some sort of disease where he just keeps gaining weight no matter what, like, put him on a fucking diet. Don't be a goddamn asshole and make your cat 47 fucking pounds. It's absurd. This record was discontinued due to concerns with animal welfare. It encouraged people to overfeed their pets. Obviously, if you get a 47-pound fucking cat, you're overfeeding that bitch entirely. And some animals don't know when to stop. Even if they're puking, even if they can't eat anymore, they will eat more because there is more available. So don't overfeed your pets. Don't make your cat 47 fucking pounds. Treat your animals well. And R.I.P. Himmy. R.I.P. Hope you're up in kitty heaven, fucking enjoying yourself. And if you're up there, 47 pounds, great. If you're down here, don't be 47 fucking pounds. The world's fastest dog on a skateboard can cruise at an amazing speed that is fast, if not faster than I can run. Both Tillman, an English Bulldog, and Jumpy, a Collie, can skate at nearly 11.5 miles an hour. 11.38 was the exact miles per hour, but imagine a dog riding a skateboard at 11.5 miles an hour. It's kind of crazy to think about. I mean, it's like what you'd pretty much picture like a kid riding a skateboard at. It's like just full blown pushing themselves, running. Honestly, these ones though, they do this running head start and they jump and land on the skateboard and cruise as fast as they can. And the fastest that they got was 11.38 miles per hour. And they're both pretty much exactly the same. They traveled a distance of like 100 meters or something, or 100 feet maybe, and they did this in a certain amount of time, which calculated their miles per hour, and they were within like 0.1 seconds of each other, so very, very close in timing and in speed. The fastest breed of domestic cat is the Egyptian Mau, which can attain speeds of up to 48 kilometers per hour, almost 30 miles an hour this cat can run, and has been referred to as the feline greyhound, which is, that's a very accurate description because greyhounds are fast as fuck. Greyhounds can fucking run like 44 miles an hour or something like that. It is extremely proficient at leaping thanks to its very powerful muscular hind legs. The Egyptian Mau has been revealed via DNA analysis to be of European or North American origin. In particular, it is closely related genetically to such well-known North American cat breeds as the Maine Coon and the American Turkish Angora. So kind of closely related to the Maine Coon, can run fast as shit, and can jump very high because it has strong, powerful hind legs. But 30 miles an hour, 29.8 is the exact miles per hour, but holy shit, that cat is moving fast. Faster than Usain Bolt can run, faster than most people can ever run. Fastest man, most people, everyone can run. Super fast, faster than you can drive on most residential streets. 25 miles an hour miles per hour being the average speed limit on a lot of residential streets. 29.8 this cat can run. Crazy. And that pretty much threw me right into the next one. The highest speed at which any greyhound dog has ever ran is 41.83 miles per hour. 41.83 miles per hour, 400 yards in 19.57 seconds by Star Title on the straightaway track at Wyong, New South Wales, Australia, on March 5th of 1994. 41.83 miles an hour this fucking dog ran. Holy hell. That's faster than a lot of, pretty much all residential fucking speeds, because you got 25, you got 35 are pretty much residential speeds, and 41.83, this fucking dog could be clocked for speeding on a goddamn roadway. Crazy. The loudest bark by a dog was measured at 113.1 decibels and was produced by a golden retriever named Charlie, owned by Belinda Freebairn of Australia, during the Purina Bark in the Park event in Rye Mill Park, Adelaide, Australia, on October 20th, 2012. Charlie first took part in the loudest bark by a group of dogs during the event, during which his ability to bark very loudly was noticed. To give some perspective to how loud this dog bark was, 113.1 decibels. 113 decibels is somewhere between the roar of a motorcycle and a chainsaw. Somewhere between those two sounds, within like 3 feet of those two. So like pretty close. If you were standing there while someone was working on a motorcycle or a chainsaw, with a chainsaw or on a motorcycle, and you hear the roar of that engine or, the buzz of that chainsaw, somewhere in there is around 113 decibels. And that's crazy. All right, so we're going to just do 2 more animal records, then we'll touch on a couple other records before we round out this episode. It's getting to be a little long already, and I kind of want to start wrapping things up. So, So next we have, when Jonathan the giant tortoise was born, Queen Victoria was just a teenager. While the British monarch died more than 120 years ago at age 81, Jonathan is still shuffling around planet Earth. Perhaps the most famous resident of St. Helena, one of the world's most remote islands, Jonathan is celebrating his 190th birthday, making him the oldest tortoise to ever live and the oldest living land animal. According to Guinness World Records, Jonathan is the oldest ever Chelonian, a category that encompasses all turtles, terrapins, and tortoises. Thought to have been born around 1830, 1835. I believe 1832 is the exact estimate. Jonathan was gifted to Sir William Grey Wilson, who later became governor. Arriving in St. Helena from the Cyclades in 1882. A further 31 governors have come and gone in the decades since. In truth, Jonathan could even be 200 years old or more, as nobody knows his exact age, according to Matt Joshua, head of tourism on St. Helena. He told CNN, Jonathan could actually be 200 because the information regarding his arrival on the island is not exact and because there's no real record of his birth. So we have Jonathan there. Now we're going to touch on one more animal record before we move into our other. So this one is a well-known one. A peregrine falcon named Frightful holds the record for world's fastest bird or fastest diving bird. According to Guinness World Records, Frightful clocked a speed of 389.46 kilometers per hour, 242 miles per hour, while diving after prey from around 5 kilometers or 3 miles in the air. And that's just crazy to fucking think about. This bird's flying 240 miles an hour. 240 miles an hour in the air, no protection, just diving at some prey. I don't even know how you begin to dive that fast. One, I know he just tucks himself in and fucking goes for it, but like, how do you slow yourself down? How do you start stopping from that and not experience G-forces that are so heavy that they kill you in some way? That's crazy to think about. I mean, you get small airplanes like little passenger planes and like single engine planes and stuff. They don't even fly that fast. They do not fly at 240 something miles an hour. Maybe some of them when they're cruising in air, full flight, but generally they're going 100-ish, a little less than 100, just over 100, and they're fucking cruising still. They're going fast, and this bird, I just imagine getting smoked by obviously it would kill the bird and kill you, but imagine getting smoked by this bird that's going 240 miles an hour, just beak into the side of your face, fucking takes you out. Crazy to think about. And that'll wrap up our animal records. So we'll move on to our other records, which is just kind of some random stuff. And then we'll, like I said, get into the main marks, do our final takeaways, and get the fuck on out of here. Alright, so other records. 52 chefs set the world record in February of 2013 for the world's largest Cantonese fried rice in Costa Rica. It served over 7,000 people and weighed almost 3,000 pounds. 3,000 pounds of fried rice. I love fried rice, but 3,000 pounds of fucking fried rice? At least I know with world record attempts for food, under Guinness World Record rules, that this food has to be donated, has to be, given out to someone who is in need of the food. Usually it's, food banks, food shelters, somewhere where they can give the food that can go to people who are in need or need this food. Or they have to be given to a large crowd or a large group of people who are attending, this record-breaking attempt, and they can all eat it or have a small piece of it as it goes to be able to use all this food and actually, have it be eaten and not just fucking wasted. So there have been many world record attempts associated with creating giant versions of our favorite food, as I just mentioned one of them, but nothing is quite as remarkable as the world's largest pizza. Created in Italy on December 13th of 2012, the world's largest pizza measured an incredible 13,580 feet squared. The Goliath of a pizza was named Octavia, Ottavia, Octavia, as an homage to the first Roman emperor Octavian Augustus. The pizza was made at Fiera Roma in Rome, Italy, by Dovilio Nardi, Andrea Manacci, Marco Nardi, Matteo Nardi, and Matteo Giannotti. Giannotte, maybe. Giannotte, Giannotte. The pizza was entirely gluten-free also, which is pretty fucking impressive. Making this gigantic, massive, 13,000 fucking square foot pizza and being able to do the whole thing gluten-free, why not? Just fucking why not? Why would you not want to do that? In 2006, 72 miles of paper clips were linked together by a team in the U.S., breaking the record for the longest chain of paper clips. The team used more than 2 million paper clips to create this massive chain, which stretched across highways and over hills. So just a giant 72-mile fucking link of paper clips. I would have to guess that they did this in like a giant airplane hangar or some fucking runway or something of that nature. I don't think you can just stretch paper clips across roads and highways and shit. Even though it says that in this article, I don't think you can just fucking do that because you're going to cause some major fucking problems. The highest vehicle mileage at 4 p.m. on September 18th of 2013, Irvin Gordon of the United States clocked his 3 millionth mile in his 1966 Volvo 1800S while driving near the village of Gurwood, south of Anchorage in Alaska. By May 1st, 2014, he had driven 3,039,122 miles. Volvo, I believe it was after its first million miles, after his millionth mile, they actually gave him a new car, a new Volvo. They awarded him a new Volvo for being so dedicated to his car and to their brand, to driving this car so fucking far. I also don't know what this guy does for a living, but to be able to just drive all the time and drive 3 million plus miles, even if it's in like almost fucking 50 years, something like that, is just, I think that's crazy to me. Because if you think about that, 3 million miles in 50 years is like 60,000 every single year at least you're doing. And I mean, people who drive a lot drive like 40, 50,000, but 60,000 just driving this car around. I mean, maybe he was using it for business or something, but just to drive this fucking car? Sure, why not? Sure. This one was like, why would you do this? What kind of thing made you want to do this? In 2003, UK's Billy Baxter reached a speed of 265 kilometers per hour or 164.87 miles per hour while riding a 1200cc Kawasaki Ninja motorcycle. Okay, that's cool, right? He reached a speed of 165 miles per hour while riding a 1200cc Kawasaki Ninja motorcycle. Awesome. Good for you, Billy Baxter. But the fact is, the world record part of it is he did it while he was fucking blindfolded. Blindfolded. Cannot see where he's going. Cannot see the throttle. Cannot see what's coming up in front of him. Don't get me wrong. He was on a secluded straight runway track at an airport, so he didn't have to worry about anything but keeping his bike straight. But fuck, 165 miles an hour on a bike sounds horrifying as it is, and to do that blindfolded, yeah, it makes me feel like I would probably die. I'd probably fucking die doing that. Absolutely. I'd lose control of that bike and I would eat shit, break my fucking bones, smash my goddamn head, and I would not live through that experience. So, good for you, Billy. Good for you. Next up, we have the longest noodle. The longest noodle measures at 3,084 meters long, 10,119 feet long, and was put together by the Zangnian, Xianggnian, Zangnian Food Company in China on October 28th, 2017. I can't even imagine a fucking noodle that's 100 feet long, 10,000 feet long. How do you do that? How do you make a noodle that's 10,000 feet long? How do you cook that noodle? How do you do anything with that noodle? I just don't understand. How thick was this noodle also to have structure to be able to hold itself at 10,000 feet long? I don't. It fucking blows my mind. It blows my mind so many times over. I can't even imagine anything that is 10,000 feet long, especially a fucking noodle that can be eaten. Yeah, so fucking go for it though. Why not? Next up, the most expensive hot dog ever produced was sold by Tokyo Dog in Seattle, Washington on February 23rd of 2014. The hot dog, the Juni-ban, Juuni, Juni-ban, BAN, contains smoked cheese bratwurst, butter teriyaki grilled onions, maitake mushrooms, wagyu beef, foie gras, shaved black truffles, caviar, and Japanese mayo on a brioche bun. Sounds bougie as fuck. Sounds like it could be kind of gross too. It's very, very savory, very fucking umami, earthy fucking taste to it. Just so much earthiness and fucking umami truffle taste to it. I can't even think of mushroom taste. I was going to say mayonnaise taste. I'm trying to read this, but has maitakes, has black truffles, has caviar. Just so much earthiness to it, so much mushroom taste to it. It could be really fucking good though. Who knows? Who fucking knows? If you ever had one, let me know. If you've ever tried this fucking Juan-ban or Juni-ban, I don't know if they still make it, but if you have tried it before, let me fucking know. Next up, we have the tallest rideable bicycle, which was, holy hell, 7.77 meters tall, 25 feet and 5 inches tall, which was achieved by Nicolas Barriaz? Yeah. Nicolas Barriaz and David Peyrou in Clermont-Ferrand, France on May 14th of 2022. In a pub in 2019, Nicholas made a bet with one of his best friends to break the record for the world's tallest rideable bicycle. The attempt was used as an opportunity to show people, and particularly the younger generation, what could be possible with less than €1,000 using just a starter toolkit and big dreams. So this man made his own bike, his own 25-foot tall bike, with less than €1,000, and he just, dreamed and fucking said, I can do it, and got to it and started rocking shit out. Made a bike that was, 2 stories tall, and said, I'm just gonna fucking ride this thing. And that sounds terrifying. Sounds like if you crash that bike, you might break a lot of fucking bones, or you might die. Who knows? If you hit your head from that height, you might fucking die. So, all right, now we have the most guitars smashed during a concert tour. Matthew Bellamy, might be Bellamy, yeah, probably Bellamy, of the English rock band Muse, wrecked 140 guitars during a tour in 2004. So this man ruined 140 guitars during his tour. You're probably not playing 140 shows, so you're going through at least one guitar, if not more, every single show. Like, you're probably going through like 3 guitars a show, 4 guitars a show, wrecking 140 guitars during a tour in 2004. That's just funny to me. That's fucking hilarious. It's not even like a crazy challenging world record. It's just the fact of destroying all these guitars. It's an expensive one, that's for sure. Guitars aren't fucking cheap, especially if you're in a rock band trying to play shows. You want professional quality. You're buying nice guitars just to fucking ruin them during this tour. So that's just funny to me. It's really funny. Next up, we have the X-43 is the fastest jet-powered aircraft on record at approximately Mach 9.6. So, what is Mach 9.6? NASA flew a third version of the X-43A on November 16th, 2004. The Pegasus rocket booster separated from its B-52 carrier at 40,000 feet, and its solid rocket took the combination to Mach 10 at 110,000 feet. The X-43A split away at Mach 9.8, and the engine was started at Mach 9.65 for approximately 10 to 12 seconds, with thrust approximately equal to drag, and then glided to the Pacific Ocean after 14 minutes. Dynamic pressure during the flight was 1,050 psf, 0.5 bar, it reached Mach 9.68, which is equal to 6,755 miles per hour. And that's fucking crazy. Fucking absurd to reach almost 7,000 miles per hour in a rocket-powered aircraft. No one was on this. It was, it crashed into the ocean afterwards, but they were doing testing on how fast these thrusters could get these vehicles, and to reach 6,755 miles per hour is one of the most absurd speeds I've ever heard of in my life for any sort of vehicle. No matter if it's manned or not manned or anything, 6,755 fucking miles per hour this rocket went before it finally crashed into the Pacific Ocean after 14 minutes of flight. Yeah, don't try to move at 6,755 miles per hour. Don't try to go faster than Mach 1. I would say, it might be a little too quick, but there has been people who have went over Mach 1 in actual manned aircrafts and survived, even with crazy G-forces being plunged onto their fucking bodies. Still crazy, crazy shit. That is going to wrap it up for our crazy records. We've talked about so many crazy ones, so many human feats, a lot of animal feats, a couple of other feats, just so many wild things, crazy things people decide to do, absurd things people decide to do, amazing things that people can do. And we're going to bounce now into today's main marks. All right, so main marks now. Number 1. Milan Roskov of Slovakia broke his own previous world record in June 2009 by juggling 3 chainsaws 62 successful times in a row. His previous record was 35. Number 2, R.I.P. I feel terrible for you. The winner for heaviest cat, Himi, had to be transported in a wheelbarrow and weighed 21.3 kilograms or 46 pounds and 15 ounces upon his death from respiratory failure in 1986. Feel terrible for Himi. Feel terrible for that cat. Anyone who overfeeds their animals is a terrible fucking person. So don't do that. I don't underfeed them either, but don't feed them so much that they start gaining weight uncontrollably. Number 3, ice squirting. Love ice squirting. Not ice cream, ice squirting. Ice squirting is more common than you think. You just have to try it. On September 1st, 2004, Ilkar Yilmaz became a champion. At the Armada Hotel in Istanbul, Turkey, Yilmaz managed to squirt milk from his eye socket at a great distance of 9 feet 2 inches. Why are you squirting milk from your fucking eyes? What made you do this? Why did you even try this? Well, what person's like, yeah, I bet I can fucking squirt liquid out of my fucking eyeballs? Crazy. Psycho people. Psychopaths. Number 4, on September 7th, 2009, Paul E. Leday managed to catch a grape in his mouth at a distance of 354 feet and 4 inches or 108 meters. This man caught a grape in his mouth that was thrown a fucking football field. He's on one end, someone else is on the other. Somehow this grape gets thrown 360 fucking feet, and this man catches it without it going, just fucking lodging in his throat. He catches it in his mouth at a distance of 354 feet. That's good for you, Paul. Good for you. He broke the record for the greatest distance at ground level that a grape has been thrown and caught in the mouth, obviously. Number 5, according to Guinness World Records, Jonathan is the oldest ever chelonian, a category that encompasses all turtles, terrapins, and tortoises. Thought to have been born around 1832, Jonathan was gifted to Sir William Grey Wilson, who later became governor. Arriving in St. Helena from the Cycles in 1882, a further 31 governors have come and gone in the decades since. In truth, Jonathan could be over 200 years old, as no one knows his exact age, according to Matt Joshua, head of tourism at St. Helena. And number 6, new information, a couple different ones I didn't talk about. Joel Strasser holds the record for most candy canes shoved into his beard, where he achieved an astounding total of 187 candy canes put into his beard. Johann Espenkrona likes to show off his powerlifting skills by hurling household appliances. So that's exactly what he did in 2022 when he threw a washing machine a distance of 14 feet and 7 inches. Can you pick up a washing machine? How about huck that bitch 15 fucking feet? Can you do that? Because I can't do that. I'll tell you what. But apparently Johann Espenkrona can absolutely fucking do that. And he does it with other household appliances too. It's just what he likes to do to show off his powerlifting skills. And finally, Richard Scott, a dad of 3 from the UK, claimed the record for the longest swing marathon after spending 36 hours and 32 minutes by going back and forth on a swing set. No, he wasn't swinging in the way that some people might think. He didn't have the longest marathon for swinging with a bunch of fucking horny people. He had the longest swing set marathon for a day and a half. 36 fucking hours, a day and a half of just swinging. Back and forth, back and forth, back and fucking forth on a swing set. Don't get me wrong. I like swinging every once in a while. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's very nostalgic. It reminds me of being a kid, you know. If you have kids, you probably like to swing every once in a while. Hang out with your child. Do some swinging. But 36 and a half hours of swing sets, fucking just going back and forth. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. And there you have it. A whirlwind through the wild, the weird, and the downright unbelievable. From skateboarding dogs and human power tools to eyeball poppers and countless incredible feats, these records remind us that the limits of possibility are constantly being rewritten. And pretty much nothing is impossible. If you can fucking eat 30,000 Big Macs, if you can bulge your eyes out of your head 3/4 of an inch, if you can swing for 36 and a half hours or catch a grape in your mouth at 350 fucking feet, if you can fucking run, if you can fucking do so many of these things, if you can do 3,300 push-ups in a day, if you can do 46,000 push-ups in a day, 3,300 push-ups in an hour, if you can do any of this shit, if you can literally do any of these things that these people or these animals or any of these fucking things that happen, any of these records, if you can even come close to achieving them, to breaking them, you are an absurdly talented person in some way or another. You have a lot of drive. You have a lot of persistence. You're able to, really look at things and tackle them in the best of ways. And you deserve a fucking gold star. So, Himmy, R.I.P. motherfucker. I know you're a fat cat, but gold fucking star for being so fat. Motherfucking goddamn Gortsky or whatever your fucking name is that has eaten 30,000 plus Big Macs. Fucking good for you. Gold star. Fucking slap that bitch on there. Goddamn Ashrita Furman for balancing 81 pint glasses on your chin. Slap a fucking gold star on there. Good for you motherfucking people. Or how about this one? The most tennis balls held by a dog in his mouth is 6, achieved by Finley Malloy in New York, United States on February 23rd, 2020. Finley is a golden retriever who loves to swim, play fetch, and chase the occasional animal that wanders into his backyard. Gold fucking star, Finley. Good for all of you. Great shit that people do. Amazing shit that people can do, that animals can do. So, give them a fucking round of applause. Enjoy the crazy world records. Research some for yourself. I will have another crazy records episode because I have more that I didn't get to. So, until next time with the world records, thank you for fucking being here. The Guinness World Records book isn't just a collection of stats and oddities. It's not just a collection of stats and oddities. It's a celebration of human creativity, determination, and sometimes sheer absurdity. Whether you're inspired to break a record, attempt something outrageous, or just marvel at the madness, one thing is definitely for sure. The world is a stranger and more wonderful place than most of us has ever imagined. And with that, with all of this out of the way, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have the chance, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to follow the show. Please share it with your best friends, with your family, with strangers, and leave a review, leave a rating. Please, it helps so much. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. That's going to wrap it up for today's Crazy Records. Next episode, we are going to be talking about the notoriously infamous, the debaucherous, and the downright dirty Bamboo Union Gang of Taiwan. So we're going over to China. We're going over to Asia next time on Beneath the Shadows. So come back to check that out next time. And hey, who knows? By next time, by then, maybe you could be the next world record holder. Until then, I'm Travis Fenn. I'm coming at you from the Shadow Realm here in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep chasing what lies beneath the shadows.
Wow, wow, wow.